Matt and Emily, who work for the CIA, get a message from their boss, Chuck. Their assignment is to find a dangerous man named Bazaar Gore, who used to be a spy for the KGB. Gore has a powerful gadget called an IC, which can control any computer or machine. Since Emily is expecting a baby, they leave their weapons behind when they arrive at Gore's large house. Once they see Gore, Emily puts a special liquid on her wrist. She then introduces herself and shakes his hand. This liquid captures his fingerprints. They quickly go to his office to find a key. They manage to get the key from his safe, but the security system goes off. Guards run into the room, but Matt and Emily easily defeat them. They then escape in their car. They meet Baron, who works for British intelligence and used to date Emily, at a place where a private plane is waiting. Matt puts the IC in a locked box on the plane. He wants to celebrate with champagne, but Emily says no. When he pushes her to drink, she tells him she's pregnant and shows him multiple pregnancy tests. She's scared he might not want the baby, but he tells her he's happy and always wanted a family. Emily goes to the restroom, but it's not working. She realizes something is wrong when a flight attendant takes her hostage and demands the key from Matt. Matt throws the key and fights the flight attendant. All the flight crew start attacking them, including one of the pilots. A flight attendant tries to shoot Emily, but Matt stops him, and he accidentally shoots the other pilot. This causes the plane to lose altitude quickly. The flight attendant grabs the IC, but the plane crashes into a mountain and starts sliding. Matt and Emily try to hold on as the plane triggers a snowslide and heads towards a cliff. Matt puts the last parachute on Emily and tells her to save their baby, but she pulls him close and opens the parachute just before the plane explodes. They land safely and are relieved. With a baby on the way, Matt and Emily decided their old lives were too dangerous. They realized someone was trying to kill them, so they pretended to die and started over with new identities. 15 years later, they lived in a regular house in the suburbs with their teenage kids, Alice and Leo. They were especially worried about Alice, who was acting like a typical teenager. The kids suspected their parents were keeping secrets, like why Matt spoke Russian to the repairman and why their stories about how they met never matched up. Matt and Emily tried to brush off their questions. Emily wanted to spend more time with Alice, but Alice always had plans with friends. One day, after dropping the kids off at school, they saw Alice kissing her boyfriend, James, which made Emily very upset. Alice saw them watching and told them to stop being so involved in her life. This bothered Emily a lot. Later that night, Emily couldn't resist checking Alice's laptop and saw messages about James meeting Alice at her friend's house. Matt caught her snooping, and Emily said she thought Alice was up to something. Matt tried to tell her to leave it alone, but Emily found the password and logged in. They saw messages about something called a chemical apocalypse. Leo overheard and told them Alice was at a club. They rushed to the club and found Alice. They tried to take her home, but she didn't think it was a big deal. Some older guys tried to stop them, making fun of Matt and Emily. They tried to leave peacefully, but when one of the guys grabbed Alice, Emily beat him up. Matt joined the fight and pushed a guy onto the DJ's equipment, ruining the party. Matt took a phone from someone filming and deleted the video before they left. On the way home, Alice was angry that her parents wouldn't let her have a life. She was also mad that they read her messages, but Matt reminded her they paid for the phone. Alice didn't believe their story about taking self-defense classes and called them liars. They grounded her and sent her to her room. Later that night, Emily felt energized by the fight at the club and wanted to return to her old life of action. But Matt reminded her they left that life to keep their kids safe. He thought she was just letting off steam and knew how to help her relax. Alice and Leo heard loud noises and were scared, but it turned out their parents were just practicing fighting. The next morning, the doorbell rang. It was Chuck, who had found them using a video from the club. He warned them that their old enemies would soon be looking for them, wanting the IC key. Emily thought it was destroyed in the plane crash, but the CIA hadn't found it, and they did find many of Gore's dead men. Chuck suspected Baron had betrayed them and was now working with Gore. He believed Gore thought Matt and Emily had the key. Chuck tried to help them escape, but suddenly, gangsters from Belarus attacked and shot him. Matt and Emily quickly grabbed their bags and escaped in their van while being shot at. Then, Matt revealed he had actually taken the IC key 15 years ago. The gunmen chased them in trucks, forcing them to drive through people's yards and down residential streets. Matt explained that he had hidden the key with Emily's mother, Jenny, in England, who used to be a sniper for British intelligence. Their plan was to get the key and then ask the CIA for protection from Gore. The gangsters continued to follow them, and one of them shot at their van. Matt made a makeshift explosive with soda and Mentos and threw it at the truck, causing a distraction and allowing them to escape. Alice was at school when she saw their damaged van pull up. Matt and Emily grabbed the kids and rushed to the airport. At the airport, they told the kids they were going to visit Emily's mother, which shocked them because Emily had told them she was dead. They still wouldn't tell the kids the full story. On the plane, Emily wondered if they should tell the kids the truth, but Matt thought it was better to keep lying so they could have a normal childhood. They arrived in England and went through airport security, where a camera recorded them. They managed to get on a bus before Barron's agents arrived. They got off the bus at their stop, but one of Gore's men was also on the bus and reported their location. Emily secretly stole car keys from a man getting on the bus and gave them to Matt. Matt then drove up in a Range Rover, pretending it was a rental car. While driving, the kids asked for Wi-Fi, but Matt and Emily knew their phones could be tracked, so Emily took their phones and destroyed the SIM cards. They stopped at a gas station, and while the kids went inside the store, Alice noticed their passports had fake names, making her wonder what secrets her parents were hiding. Gore's people told him where Matt and Emily were, so he decided to send more attackers. Barron also knew where they were. When Matt and Emily were outside the gas station, they saw a group of bikers and a car surround them. Matt used the gas pump to create a fire and keep the men away, while Emily fought them off. Alice and Leo were shocked. After defeating the attackers, Matt grabbed the kids, and Emily joined them. They told the kids to get in the car quickly, and Emily even used the car to knock one of the men away. Barron and his team drove by, then turned around to catch them. Matt shot the tires of a truck carrying pipes, which blocked the road and helped them escape. Alice and Leo wanted to know what was happening and who their parents really were. Matt and Emily finally told them they used to be CIA agents. Alice thought it was cool, and Leo wondered if his dad could beat up the other dads at school. Barron and Wendy figured out that the attackers were from a Belarusian crime group called the Vula. Wendy asked how he knew so much about the family, but Barron said he had been following the Vula for a while. He was determined to find Emily, but Wendy reminded him they were looking for the whole family. The family arrived at Jenny's big house. Jenny was outside shooting birds. Emily introduced her kids, but Jenny said she had seen pictures of them before. Leo tried to hug his grandma, but she told him to pick up the dead bird instead. Inside, they met Nigel, Jenny's friend and former student. Barron and Wendy were still trying to find the family. They had tracked their car using satellites but lost the signal when it went under clouds. They looked at nearby locations and found that one of the properties was registered to a company called Fox Hunter Limited. Barron remembered that this company belonged to Jenny, a famous former spy. Matt told Jenny about the situation and that he had hidden the IC key in her house. Emily and Jenny argued. Emily said she had tried to be a better mother than Jenny. Jenny realized that Alice didn't like her, even though she had given up a lot. She just wanted to spend time with her grandchildren while she still could. Barron found out that Jenny was Emily's mother, but he didn't tell Wendy and sent her to check other locations. Meanwhile, a group of attackers entered Jenny's property and approached the house. Matt took Emily to a place near the house where he had hidden the key. They found the hidden key, but then they heard a helicopter and ran back to the house. Inside, Jenny and Nigel were tied up. They tried to find the kids, but they were captured and taken to a room where Alice and Leo were also tied up. Matt showed the bad guys the key, begging them to let his kids go. Suddenly, Chuck walked in. He revealed that he had pretended to be dead to make Matt and Emily look for the key. It turned out Barron was on their side, and Chuck was the real enemy. Chuck took the key, explaining that he had lost his job and his family after the plane crash when the IC went missing. While this was happening, Jenny secretly grabbed weapons and used tranquilizer darts to shoot some of the bad guys. She fought more of them, and Nigel was shot in the arm. The noise helped Matt and Emily fight back, but Chuck grabbed the kids and held them hostage. Then, other agents came and knocked Matt and Emily unconscious. Chuck took the kids to the helicopter and flew away. A few minutes later, Matt and Emily woke up and checked the security cameras. They saw Leo's smart ring and used its GPS to find the helicopter's location, a building where a big event was happening. Matt and Emily went there but had to leave their guns behind because of the tight security. Inside the building, Chuck was showing off the IC's power to some buyers. He used his hacker to turn off the city's power, including the buildings. Matt and Emily saw Chuck's men going into an elevator and followed them. Chuck then used the IC to control the Thames barrier, showing he could flood the entire city. Matt and Emily fought the men in the elevator and then beat up more of them on the next floor. Barron and the British agents arrived, not to arrest Matt and Emily, but to catch Chuck and Gore. Matt, Emily, and the agents ran into the next room, and Chuck ran away with Matt and Emily chasing him. He met his men, who were taking Leo and Alice to a boat. Emily and Matt tried to stop them, but Gore's men blocked them. Jenny showed up with a sniper rifle, allowing Matt and Emily to steal motorcycles and chase after the boat. Gore's men shot at them, but Matt knocked two of them off their bikes, and Emily pushed another one off. Emily stole a boat, and Matt joined her, and they chased Chuck. Chuck told his hacker to meet him at their meeting spot. She packed up her stuff and went to her van, but Nigel, who was watching the building for Jenny, stopped her. He crashed his car into her van, making it stop. The hacker was unconscious, and Nigel found the key and laptop. He told Jenny, who told Matt and Emily. They wanted him to close the barrier, but he didn't know how. Matt and Emily finally reached Chuck's boat and jumped aboard. They started fighting the people on the boat, and even Leo helped out. They knew they had to stop the city from flooding. Back on land, Nigel got scared and smashed the computer, which surprisingly made the barrier close. Emily threw Leo and Alice off the boat to safety, while Matt fought Chuck. He managed to knock Chuck unconscious and then jumped off the boat before it crashed into the barrier. Later, Matt told Leo he was very brave for helping them. Emily hugged Alice tightly, relieved that she was safe. Jenny and Nigel joined them, and the whole family walked away together. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thanks and see you again soon. Take care.